any trouble hearing people if they're talking, they can come on over here and talk to the mic. But anyway, I thought before we actually got started with your comments and questions, we'd have each of the panel members make a very brief comment about what they saw and from their perspective. Of course, since I'm running this, I'm going to start. My wife is in the audience, so I will stop. But I was trying to just think about some things. I mean, I'm a philosopher by profession, or I used to be, and I taught bioethics. So I was interested in what all this stuff looks like from an ethical point of view. And I guess I thought of three things really. One is, if you look at these other systems, they've all, and this is especially true, I think, in the European Union, what's left of it anyway, is that they take the view that health care is a right. You saw that even among and they've all taken a stance to that effect. We haven't done that. We really haven't done that. I mean, some people have, but insist that everybody have access to health care, like we do for, police protection, fire protection, and things like that. We haven't made that decision. And it seems to me that's one of the deficiencies, if I can say that, of our system of healthcare, is that we haven't made that. The other is that they haven't left or viewed healthcare as a commodity sold in the marketplace, not like the cereal and clothing and things like that. It's more like fire protection, police protection, basic education, and so on. These are things that, as citizens, we have a right to expect. That seems to me that the view that the EU and Taiwan and Japan and other countries have taken that. The other thing is, there is one thing, despite how different each of these systems are from one another and how different they are from our system, the one thing that none of them does, that we do, none of them finances health care with for-profit. They do it with insurance, private insurance, but they don't do it with for-profit health insurance. And that's got a lot to do with the differences in administrative costs compared to many of these. Anyway, those are my three comments. I'll make others that go on forever, as my wife will tell you about healthcare. Mary, you want to? Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm for what? I'm for something better than we have. I wouldn't say those are all different. You can't be for all of those. That's not possible.
Taiwan.
You should hold off since I talked to you 30, 40 times a month. So you called in to chit chat.
Right.
If you're spending that many times a month in healthcare, they aren't using it, they're living there.
Right. Yeah, so they try to regulate that, but still hard, 20 times a month is like, doctor almost every day. You probably should catch them for that. Yeah, the other thing I want to comment, I like that they mentioned about, and
we're going to wait all questions to everybody.
I'm sorry.
Been going over to Great Britain in 8, I guess, and I've been over there multiple times taking there, and I've had the opportunity when I'm over there to go to a lot of clinical sites, go to hospitals, we go to hospices, and in my, they have excellent, they don't have in their NHS, their hospitals, they don't have what we would consider basic amenities. The only time you get a private room is if you're very contagious. They don't have flat screen televisions in the rooms. If you want to watch a television, you pay for it by a coin-operated system. They don't have free newspapers. They don't have room service. The nurses actually plate it for the patient. So it's a very different perception of what is necessary, in the hospital. That's one of the big differences I saw myself. However, they do give absolutely excellent care. The other big difference that I saw, Zaray talked about education costs right now, is you're in nursing school, your tuition is 100% paid over there, as are your books. And you get a stipend to live on. Eat money, but it's quite a bit. So that's another way that they, keep. I've had the opportunity to go to Peterborough Hospital there, Wind of the Art. I mean, it's just like anything we would have here in Evansville. And then they have some facilities that are quite old, and at the same time, they provide good
Most of the rooms. I was compared their room.
Excuse me, let's wait till everybody's ready to go.
Okay. Thank you. No,
I was in a cardiac hospital in Italy, and the one thing I did notice is the food. I gave my cardiologist a hard time. I said, I think the least you guys can do over here is get me some good food. Anyway, Rob?
Sure.
Oh, there you are. So if you let her know, if you have a question that you want to direct to any specific member. None of us holds office, and it's not a town hall meeting, so.
What is the percentage of income tax do you have in Britain?
Quite honestly, because I haven't lived there for a long time, I'm not sure. While you're working,
On TV, everybody you know, on the hard channel television, it's the prime minister that will be all the proof leaders, you know. It's like on television, on television.
right?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the last time I watched it, the Mr. Governor was there. They would ask questions and see, well, in England, they're not more like states, more like kind of raw. You know, they got different parts of England, you know. They're like states, it's a country, you know. And they were, they got several leaders in certain parts of the country out up there. Not even like a congressman, senator, my area.
Right.
But they were complaining to the prime minister that there are allotments. See, in other words, the state gives out allotments to each part of the
Right.
how much they get for allotments. And they were complaining they were having a hard time taking care of their country, their area, and everything. They were actually kind of choosing the leader, prime minister, picking favorites and everything. See, unlike us, we don't have one. We get them on the party like before there. It's in power.
Well, they have political parties. They have a third party, and then they have all sorts of other parties when you come for elections. You can get.
Some of them complain.
They probably weren't getting. Well, of course, rural areas, easy access. My family all live close to London. They have offices of hospitals, big hospitals. They were hospitals.
They're complaining all that. Now, that's what they were saying. Well, my part of the country didn't quite vote for you.
Oh, did you have a specific question?
I just looked at this now. One more thing. I was talking to y'all were up in look, anytime nowadays you go to a hospital, looking for a role for doctors in the hospital. How many of these are being pronounced? In other words, the bar doctors, they are fought in this country. Well, I know, but see, in their own country, these were almost all, you can just charge so much. And they're not going to actually solve any of our problems, that social administration thing, until they put some prices with it. Or they can say, well, you can charge what you want to, but you got to get freeze. Almost what you charge.
Yeah, I think that's probably a different conversation. Sir?
So, the Mike and I are looking, we're here tonight to this group. What are the groups that are pushing this? I mean, our people, our senators and our congressmen, our state representatives, what are the groups? They don't do anything about it. What are the grassroots? Okay.
There is a national organization of physicians in that for a number of years. There actually is a House bill currently in the House, HR 676, back in the 1990s, and he's got now, I think, about single payer Medicare for all proposal. Not all these systems are like that. Some are, some are not. So that's one. There's a group called Healthcare Now, which is also California Nurses Association. Is there a website? Oh yeah. You can go to PNHP or Healthcare Now. And those are the two that I'm most familiar with.
Yeah, just a comment. My name's Guy Sides. Some of you may have seen my letter to the editor about a month ago in the newspaper about Medicare. And if I could, I missed my guess. A lot of people in here are Medicare. and I am as well. You need to know that the Republican Party in Paul Ryan's proposal is to change Medicare substantially. The change that he is going to propose is to voucherize Medicare. And what that means is that you on Medicare will receive a voucher, say $5,000, and you will be told that you can go buy your health care insurance from a private, a public or insurance company. A couple of problems with that. First, they mentioned on the video that the administrative costs for private insurance by law now is 20%. That's all they can take of the premium. But the administrative cost for Medicare is 2%. The second thing is that the argument will be that we cannot afford Medicare. The costs are rising at an astronomical rate and we can't afford it. Because of some of the things that were done in the Affordable Care Act, Medicare is now solvent until 2028. And to continue the solvency simply requires raising the threshold of contribution from the rich people.
Yes. Maybe paying the fund back for the government.
Exactly. Third thing is that what will happen is if you're given a voucher, now let's be clear, we're all older. We cost more money to treat. You're going to get a voucher, and the voucher will say you can spend $5,000 for health. I don't know if that'll be the number, but you can buy health insurance for $5,000. If you go to a health insurance company and they say we're going to charge you $12,000, you got to pay the difference. And what will happen over time is the voucher will increase slightly, but it will not increase at the rate at which health insurance costs are increasing. So here's the issue. You asked the question about what you can do. You need to contact your congressmen and your senators. Now, I called Congressman Bouchon's office today and asked if he was going to be here tonight. I don't think I see him.
He's got the insurance.
By the way, Congressman Bouchon is not in the district. He does not have any events set up. You go to his website, there are no events. So the way you need to, the pressure you need to bring on Congressman Bouchon and on Senator Donnelly and on Senator Young is you need to call them and keep calling and tell them that you do not want this to happen. The other thing is that we're now fighting over the ACA, and the ACA has brought benefits to a lot of people, including you as Medicare. I'm just bringing that up as for information's sake, because I think it's really important for us as senior citizens to know that this is in jeopardy.
Nothing political.
Thank you.
I didn't say anything political.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See if we have someone else before we do that.
How do they handle the influx of immigrants? Do they immediately get coverage?
I think if they're in refugee status, they get immediate coverage. If they're just an immigrant, for about a year prior to, in fact, while I was over there, there was a program that I watched on the television on the NHS, and it was on people coming from overseas and becoming ill, having no insurance, and then getting services, and basically there isn't anything blood out of the stone. So they basically, to do it, they were going back to their own country. You could say that they notify the sort of border control so that the possible people might not let them in again. So they have some very unfortunate situations. They had a Nigerian lady who was pregnant with quads, who flew to Chicago because she had Chicago, we wouldn't let her in the country. I don't know. She was coming on a visitor's visa, whatever. They put her on a plane. She was flying back to Nigeria via London, where she went into labor on the plane. So, of course, in London, two of the babies did not make it. She was, I can't remember how many weeks she was when she delivered. It was very early. But the two babies that did were in neonatal and intensive care in a London hospital for about 6 months. A huge expense, but there is nothing they can do about things like that. But I mean, after I think there for a year, you are entitled to free, and anyone gets free emergency. If you would fall down and break your leg or something like this, or have a heart attack or a stroke or something that's an emergency, then you are entitled to it.
She said she had pregnant with an emergency.
I guess so. I guess that looking after the babies for a long time, you know, I don't know that they really consider that. What they do is tell her that we'll give you bills, and the social worker gave them the bills and said, I'm giving you the bills, but we have no way of asking you to pay. But I have to give you the bill. So that was basically what they did in that situation.
Remember about whether if we offer them the insurance right away, it's a very generous system, I would say that you, like, well, I've heard about that even if you go travel abroad, I have a plan. You know, I don't know how they do it, but it's kind of amazing.
You know, I don't think there was pork chop.
Right. What happened in the 80s was that the for-profit insurance companies, like Anthem, for example, bought out the nonprofits like Blue Cross and Refugee.
And the other problem is how much it costs to become a doctor or a nurse. I am a nurse.
But it induces people like in this country, we need more family practice physicians, more money to pay off their debts. This is a big problem.
Taiwan, you said that the doctors, providers are overworked.
Yes, that is a good question. I think overall speaking of unfair, for example, if you get a open heart surgery comparison, for example, if you're a dermatologist, money that you get paid. So a lot of the newer doctors coming out from school, they would rather go to this but not become a and that creates problems in those critical areas, which are the four big areas: the surgeon, the internal medicine, the pediatric, the OBGYN. Those four areas, less doctors tend to want to pick here. So in those areas, there will be already a shortage by those doctors. Other problem is that in order to manage patient with limited amount of is that they actually get 100,000 a year, 100,000. So they have to pay the $100 service.
I like to get people in trouble, so I'm going to ask the panelists kind of a political question. So if some sort of a miracle occurred and we got someone in Washington to write legislation that was based on the findings that we just saw in the video, that basic care can't be for profit and or some kind of price controls that would seem to address the problem, what would happen, obviously, was that the insurance companies and maybe the medical lobby would lobby to have that law overturned. If it was passed, they would mount a campaign to have it repealed, and at least half the citizens would believe that in the United States. Whereas we just saw in the video that the insurance companies seem to accept those laws in the other country without much argument. You know, everybody he talked to was in favor of them, and the citizens were all in favor of them. So what is the difference that keeps the insurance companies in other countries from just taking control of the government and overturning the laws? What sort of forces are in place there? And speculate too.
I hope I heard the question right, but I think it's a fundamental. People don't like to be controlled by other people, so idea of being told that you have to pay the insurance, I think it
seems like the solutions that were working in these other countries rested on one of three different things that seem to be unimplementable here. Either you have to set price controls, which everybody hates around here.
Right.
You have to have forced purchase of the insurance, which everybody hates, or you have to have no profit on the basic care. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, that costs jobs, and how can you stop someone from making money? So is there any way we can attack one of those three legs of the stool, you know?
Is Medicare actually that way?
Yes.
So that seems like the most
The answer.
solution.
The answer is to make Medicare available to everybody.
That's the only solution.
However,
That should be something that's acceptable.
if I might, the issue of the insurance companies is, they said that those insurance companies were not-for-profit. That means they don't have shareholders. So the difference in this country is we have for-profit insurance companies that deal with shareholders. And so their objective is to maximize their profits so that they can maximize the return to the CEOs and the shareholders. That's a fundamental difference between us and them.
But Kaiser was a very large.
Kaiser's much different.
Yeah.
Wonderful organization, absolutely provides top-notch care, and they do control costs. They do all this stuff. They're great.
Can you explain a little more about that? Other different.
I'll let the experts talk about Kaiser. I don't know. Yeah, Kaiser is a. First of all, here's my background. Okay, so I am a pharmacist. I was director of pharmacy at Deaconess for a number of years. I worked for a pharmaceutical company for a number of years, and I dealt with insurance companies. And since then, I've taken on a role of understanding insurance and how this works. Kaiser is what's called an HMO, Health Maintenance Organization. It was started by Henry J. Kaiser, who built ships, aluminum. He was an aluminum guy out in California. He built ships. He decided that what he wanted to do was have health care for his employees. So he set up what's called a health management organization. And that health management organization manages your health. So you pay into it, you pay a premium, and as we talked about earlier, they are capitated. So they have to deliver so much care, they have to deliver all their care based upon the amount, the number of people they have, and they're only given so much per person. Now Kaiser is, they do all manner of things. They treat all kinds of people, and they are a wonderful healthcare organization. But they're a managed care organization. So you have some responsibility as a patient when you're in a managed care organization. You can't go everywhere. You can't see everybody you want to see. You got to go to the gatekeeper. You got to go through the doors. But the quality that Kaiser delivers is amazing, and the cost. They and Geisinger, which is in Pennsylvania, deliver high quality care, and they do it at very, very low cost. So, and they're not for profit.
Well, it's sort of like, if you remember what Welborn HMO used to be.
Very much like that.
It's kind of based on that same thought process and how that works.
Kaiser goes all over it goes over the West Coast. It's also in some states in the East, and they control the use of the resources very carefully. Probably.
Can you say the question louder?
Oh, sorry, my question is, so if Kaiser's so great, can we steer our local employers to shop with them?
They would have to have a network here. So they have to set up a network. Yeah, they have to have their providers, not only doctors, but they also have to have hospitals and clinics and those kind of things.
I have some Kaiser. I had them about 10 years ago. Go ahead, we failed for a healthcare system that doesn't benefit the majority of people.
About the general opinion of the group, and maybe you could ask. I see lots of opinion and to and fro there, and I know that we don't have very much at the federal level, and that Medicaid is done level both.
Yes.
To see your health care administered at the state level. I'm not saying one system or another. I'm just saying.
Not as long as I live in Indiana.
Not
The film talks about three common, the mandate and and then of course if you have Medicare, you've got all of them. Flawed as it is, it still is what for.
I could comment on that. And I assume on healthcare. You ended up with, and oh, by the way, we're not going to touch.
You said don't touch the
for-profit health insurance. So my father and my wife has heard this analogy too many times, and she's already hanging her head in shame. But my father and I used to raise racing pigeons. We always and my father was in conference, say we got this egg problem, we want to help them out. So I'm not, I mean, there are some things, but I think part of the problem is we haven't decided from guaranteeing this system. We don't have it.
We don't have a system.
We're going in every which direction.
You didn't get it started,
But my
at
point
least.
was that it was,
I think it's a very poor start.
well, I know,
But it's,
For some members of our family, it's a very good start because I have some grandchildren who have strange conditions and now they're suffering.
But ours are, you know, it's complete and total abuse.
That's right.
yeah, that's not their fault. They don't know because it is this company or that company or that plan. So they don't even know what it is that they're charging their patients.
The answer is as much as we can.
You don't challenge your doctor.
No. I want to ask the panelists who were speaking about the other countries, how do they control the drug costs? What do they do?
Negotiate. I can answer that. They negotiate prices.
So that is another, in Taiwan, comes from, and also brand names. So there is limitation of what the doctor, as well as the brand name. However, there are some that doesn't work as well. And that would turn out that actually is that trade-off.
I would just say in the United Kingdom, yes, it's negotiated. I think the other thing is that the drugs are free to children. You don't have to pay anything for a prescription for a child as an outpatient. Your prescriptions are all come free of cost. Obviously, the government pays for it. Between, you have to pay copay. The sort of working adults now, people with disabilities with a sort of working age.
And in Great Britain, they have a.
Hang on a minute. We got to get somebody else to talk here.
Sure.
And you had a question.
I was kind of actually sad for the doctors that were there having consultations pouring in. And like the Japanese people think, it's so fast, I can go in 3 minutes, they take my blood pressure, give me my pill, and I'm out of there. Okay, what's the impetus to do more and better healthcare that doesn't involve pills and horrible higher and higher price junk that, it's not automatic. How do you do alternative care? How do you encourage the old medicines that were better than the new ones with the drug companies not getting involved in profit? Who finances the better way to do things? Who okays checks and balances? Maybe, I don't know. When they feel like they're like the waitress for hire, they don't even get a tip. It seems like it's how would they care for people? It doesn't actually encourage them to put their soul into caring for people and actually feel.
One time I went last summer when I went back to Taiwan, and I an appointment the same day, and I was able to time that's my turn. Gets to midnight, and first seen her walking outside. I think there must be some good heart.
But does it drive better? You improve care. Or do you just get the same thing? Show up with blood pressure.
I am pretty amazed how they deliver efficient. Because I went in there, she didn't look rushed at all. The other benefit of staying in the short amount of time. So of course,
there's one more question, and we're going to have to.
Are there statistics? I know that we said that Japan has better health than in this country, and if so, why can't we use that as an argument for national health?
It's been known. I think what you need to do is the next time you go to a ball game, put a healthcare t-shirt on, and go into the stands and say, "Wear number 37."
Right. That's exactly right.
See how that works. It's not widely, sadly known. It's known widely, but most of us keep our head in the dirt sand and don't know how terrible the American health is, whether it's because it's more of the way we live or whatever. But, we're like somewhere.
We're just above Czechoslovakia.
Anyway, we're going to have to.
Last question. Okay, so I'm Gina from. Oh, I just was going to say the same thing, was that actually their healthcare outcomes in these countries are better than ours are, and we're paying tons of money more than what they are. So, yeah, it's way too much. So that's all.
Gina, we're going to have to. They're going to chase us out of here.
Right, they will. It's been done before.
just because we're so excited to have such a good turnout, I'm one of the organizers of our Revolution Evansville. How many of you are here because you saw this on Facebook? Raise your hand. How many of you heard about it at work? Heard it on the radio? Or newspaper. Okay, the newspaper works. Thanks, that's what I needed to know.